On today's episode, we discuss the Fuck Me Daddy guard.
We discuss why wrestling would be cooler if they did this one thing.
We talk about Doryun winning the PGF qualifiers, making it into PGF Season 7.
Let's go up north. Gio, are we Eskimo brothers?
Welcome back to the pod, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Kenny, here with Matt, episode 55. Brother, what is going on in the life of Mr. O's Nation?
Remember that commercial? 55!
Yes. That was it was the fucking Sammy Hagar song, Van Hagar.
Yeah, it is a Sammy Hagar song. Yeah, happy 55, guys.
So last week, I posted a meme of a guy competing at an ADCC Open in the advanced bracket, and he was attempting to pass someone's guard, and they were playing an open guard, no gi, and he stacked them and then held their hips down and pinned their knees behind their head.
Yep, and then you made a viral meme. Yeah. I'm very proud of you.
I said, I don't care what the rules are. If I pin your knees behind your head in the fuck me daddy guard position, I win. And a lot of people commented, tell me you don't know how to pass guard without telling me you don't know how to pass guard.
I mean, but you got a point, Kenny, because and there's a place for great guards. Like we've seen CJI and we've seen, again, bringing up his name every week, Jet Thompson. These guys could just put their legs behind their head and lick their own fucking thighs.
Yeah, but if you're active and you're playing that kind of guard, but still being not even defensive, like Jet Thompson's offensive when playing that guard. This guy was literally just had his knees behind his head and wasn't doing anything. He had his hands up in the air and he was like trying to frame, but couldn't touch the guy because the guy had a knee behind the butt, stacking him, and had his knees pinned. And he said he ended up winning the match. The guy that posted the video ended up commenting on it, and he said that he ended up winning the match. He goes, I disconnected. The ref made him stand up because I took him down, got points, I beat him. So good on him for winning that match, but I don't know, man. I think there's too much emphasis placed on passing the guard if that's the guard that you're playing. I understand a regular guard, an open guard, a half guard, but lasso, many different kinds of guard that are like, when you have somebody, the whole basis of jiu-jitsu is the guard and how the guard is good and effective, but it's only effective if it is effective. If you have your knees pinned behind your head, that's not an effective guard. You're just...
What's end game?
Right.
Like, what are you doing?
Right.
Like, are you inverting for a leg? What are we doing here? Are you just being like, you're not passing my guard?
Right. Is that the game for you? You can't pass my guard, so you can't have the points. Like that's what your jiu-jitsu is.
Yeah. And then we just both lose. I lose a no point decision.
Yeah. Dumb.
I was dumb. I mean, and it is not appealing to the outside viewer of jiu-jitsu. When people make posts like jiu-jitsu's gay, these are the kind of things they show.
Right. Totally.
Period. I mean, it's you know, your booty hole shouldn't be in the air.
He was face up, ass up.
Bro. Yeah, no, I mean, like, you can get stacked sometimes. Back roll out of that bitch.
Right.
I agree, 100%. Like, yeah, and we went viral with it. And, you know, some people talk shit in the comments on some of the posts we do. But you know what? Guess what?
You're there.
Negative comments help the algorithm also.
Yeah.
So I'd rather have any comment helps.
Yeah, you're in the comment section regardless.
Oh, who's this guy? He's fat. Yeah, well, fuck you. Thanks for the fucking... Instagram pays me money.
Yeah.
To post. Does it pay you? No. You can post about people or you can be somebody who people post about.
Right.
Your call.
Yeah. Do you want to live in somebody else's comment section or have your comment section going off? So
exactly.
Yeah.
With your cartoon photo.
Yeah. Matt is halfway to a Corvette payment.
We're close. We're making pretty... Instagram, it feels like the ban has been... I don't want to talk too loud. I feel like the shadow ban has been released. I'm back to like 20 million views this month.
I saw that. And so you went from... You were stuck at 87,000 followers for months.
Yeah.
after you were on a tear, you went from like 80 to 87 in like, it seemed like a couple of weeks, and then boom.
Yeah, I'm at
shadow
like
ban.
93 now.
Yeah.
I'm at 93. Then in like 4 days, I went up like 6,000. So things seem to be moving pretty good.
Yeah. You'll hit 100K. You're sure.
I hope so. That's the goal.
Unless they hit you with another fucking shadow ban.
No, come on. Don't talk too loud, dude. They're like, oh, he's talking about it again? Ban.
Yeah. Zuck must be training jiu-jitsu right now. He was,
yeah. I'm a nice guy.
He was on a meme dry spell, and then he caught your page and was like,
and I'm being selective of what I put. I have some doozies I want to put on there. And I'm like, oh no, this is not worth it.
Yeah. Well, that's what the Discord's for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Join the Discord, folks. Get the exclusive memes that are too spicy for IG.
I told you and Nate this privately, but I had an altercation with a bum this week.
Yeah?
Yeah. So I'm on my lunch break, 9 to 5 job. We don't make enough yet to make this our 9 to 5, but 9 to 5 job. And I'm going to get fast food. Don't judge me. Fuck you guys. Yeah. Fast food. And I see this bum. It's Riverside. If you know Riverside, some homeless, some homeless people in Riverside.
There is some homeless in Riverside.
So I see this bum sitting, not against the wall, but like literally just sitting in the middle of the sidewalk, just obstructing people's walk path, just sitting there Indian style, chilling. And I'm like, oh, all right, whatever. You know, I don't know everybody's journey. Maybe he's in his bum phase. I don't know. So I go to get my meal. And then when I get to the window, the guy at the window's like, hey, someone forgot to grab this. I have this extra burger. Do you want it? And I was like, not really. But I was like, oh, there's that guy out front. And I usually don't help homeless people because I feel like helping them is hurting them. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. If they're disabled, maybe you get more likely to get something from me. But if they're like 32 years old and just jobless,
right?
All I'm doing is enabling you.
You look strung out on fucking heroin.
Right. So I take my burger, I get this extra burger, I pull back around and I roll my window down and I go, hey brother, you want a burger? I had an extra one. Hey, you want an extra burger? And the guy is sitting down still in the middle of the walk path and he just sticks his hand out. Like, bring it to me. And I'm like, hey, fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck you. I just rolled my window up, dude. Freaking toss that burger in the trash.
No appreciation. No appreciation.
I was like, you're not even going to get up to come get it? You make me get out and hand it to you? Yeah, right. I'm out, dude.
Yeah.
Try to do good deeds. And deeds, you know?
Yeah. Somebody slaps
I bet
you
if it was a handle of Jack, had a handle of Honey Jack, that guy would have been like, hey, fucking up, you know? Like,
ran over there. I don't know. That's sad. I agree with you though. And maybe it's because we both have, from our childhoods, we both have examples of the strains of drug addiction on, family members. And here's the thing is that I've seen drug addicted people hold down jobs, still have a place to live, provide for their family, and still be a strung out piece of shit. But like, and maybe home life wasn't phenomenal, but at least there was a roof over the head. So like if you're homeless and a drug addict, like I guess because I've seen people be functional drug addicts, like I have extra less respect for you because like you can't even handle your shit. So
and it's an age thing too. I mean, if you're like 20, 30 years old,
right,
and you're just like, I just start backstorying you. I'm like, this guy's probably doing drugs in his house. He probably has good parents. His parents probably kicked him out because he was a bad influence on his little sister. And he just doesn't want to get his shit together. And he's doing drugs in the house. And after his 5th warning, dad finally whooped his ass, kicked him out. Now he's on the streets. And I just backstory. I just backstory every young homeless guy. Like, how did he get here?
Right.
And that's what I do. I mean, it could be completely opposite. It could be like, never had a I don't know what his story is, but I always backstory it to something like that. And then I just get like mad, like, no, dude, get a job.
Right.
I work at a job that hires 50 to 100 people a day and only 5 people stay.
No shit.
Yeah. And I work for a $1 billion company. Okay. I work for UPS, brown shorts, UPS guy.
Yeah.
We hire the UPS. If you're homeless and you're listening to this on your free phone, UPSjobs.com. Excuse me. UPSjobs.com and fill out an app. Select the city you live in. Coming up around Christmas month, you're going to get hired instantly. They don't drug test. We do not drug test. Entry level warehouse. Okay. You'll work whatever shift they feel deemed for you. You'll get 3 to 5 hours a night. Full benefits after 10 months for you and your family. And when you go full time, which is a time-based thing, you don't just go full time off of merit. It's off of seniority.
Mm-hmm.
Takes about 3 to 5 years to get full time now. Then you have a 4-year progression after that. So, and within 9 years, you'll be making over $50 an hour. So, I mean, like, what? It's easy. You don't need a high school diploma. It's easy money. So,
He just gave you a path to get out of it.
when I see people homeless, I'm just like, you're homeless because you want to be homeless.
Right. Oh, there's for sure opportunity out there. I was having a
People are
conversation with my cousin the other day, and I said, I've got a good job and I make good money. And I said, if for some strange reason I lost my job Monday, right? I promise you I could have another job in 48 hours, making very close to the same amount that I'm making right now. You know what I mean? Like my family I would be fine. It would require me to hunker down and start making phone calls and whatnot, but I would put the work, like I could do that. And I don't have a college degree or anything like that. I'm just saying, if you want a job, they're out there. You can make it happen. So I do not believe that there's an excuse, and I have no sympathy for drug addicts. You're there because you wanted to be there. You know what I mean? Nobody forced you to take drugs. You're not addicted to drugs because somebody put a gun in your head and make you smoke crack. And I understand addiction, and I understand that it messes with your brain chemistry and you become chemically dependent on it. Well, you can get out of that as well. I've seen people do that as well. You just have to want to. But if you don't want to, no one's going to save you, from yourself. So I've got very little fucking sympathy or empathy for drug addicts because I come from a long line of that. And I was definitely, at points in my life faced with opportunities to go down that path as well. And I didn't take them. You know what I mean? I've done drugs. I've admitted that on the show multiple times. I'm
Right.
not to say that I'm absolved of any wrongdoing ever, but I never became a drug addict and I never allowed myself to go down that route just because I had enough self-control not to become that person. So.
Now, not to get political, because that's not what we are. And I just feel like politics is everybody's journey. Convince somebody otherwise on political stuff is just a dead horse. You're not going to convince somebody to think differently.
I agree.
That's the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah. You're not. Yeah.
But Trump said that he won't tax overtime, which I also think would be a great thing. But I also think that I think the conservatives would shut that shit down too. And when you put that up to pass it, for some reason, they would shut that shit down, just like Dems shut down gambling on sports in California. The fuck. Anyways, I just feel like they just because they'll just know we don't want it. But I think if they did eliminate the overtime, taxing overtime, that would give more incentive for people to work.
Right. Work extra.
Because it's not coming out of the company. The company's still paying the same. It's just the people are getting more of their money.
Right.
So people could make more money. It actually pays more than sitting on unemployment. Right. So I think that could be a good thing. But like I said, I don't want to get political about it, but I don't. And I also think even if he does get in, which who knows, but I still think they would shut that shit down.
I agree.
Even if he did try to push it forward, they'd knock it down. Yeah,
I agree. And that's the thing too, is that executive orders are only temporary until the next president comes in. Then he can immediately override it if he chooses to. So executive orders is a Band-Aid fix to any problem. You got to get the rest of the country to buy in on it for it to work.
So this is kind of a good headway into this thing. And I said, how many Kennys have there been? And you're probably like, what the fuck?
I did read it, and I'm like, I know he's going to go somewhere with this. I understand at this point just to not question, and I don't want to ask you ahead of time because I want it to be like whatever interaction that we have right here. This is like the genuine, unthought of, like on the spot interaction, about this topic.
So if you're going into like how many mats there was teenage Matt who thought this way. There was 20-year-old Matt who was just all about, getting notches on his belt. There was 30-year-old Matt who was just trying to figure out, trying to actually developing into becoming a man and a dad, right? When I do like how many Kennys there was, I'm like, if we were in our 20s, what would this podcast be like?
Oh, it'd be way different. It'd be very Purple Bell energy. I'd tell you that much.
It would be so Purple Bell energy. Would we have more followers?
We'd have, if you look at our demographic, the way that it breaks down, like in analytics and whatnot, the demographic is dudes our age. So if this pod was in our 20s, we would have a much lower age demographic for sure.
I mean, I don't think people listen to podcasts at younger ages.
I agree. I think it's kind of an our generation thing.
It's like 30-year-old and up. You're like, oh, I'm going to listen to what this guy has to say.
Right. Which is kind of what our demographic is. It's like 32 to like, I think 48 is right around our demographic mainstay.
Right. And my wife's like, I listen to this podcast now. And I'm like, I've been listening to him for the last 10 years, and she's starting to listen to like these girl type podcasts, and I'm like, she's just always been listening to music forever. And she's like, it's really good. I'm like, people just evolve into like listening to people's thoughts on things, I think.
Right. That's a good point. So in my 20s, I was DJing, and if you would have asked me then, like I swore up and down the music that I was into then, like that, that was my culture. That was what I was about. Everything. I would tell you, I would preach to you about this style of music. And this is, what I'm going to listen to till the day that I die, kind of a thing. I don't even listen to any music hardly at all anymore, Matt. Hardly at all.
Yeah.
And if I do, it's mostly stuff that I liked a long time. I'm not listening to anything new. Like, it's a rarity. Every once in a while, I'll catch something like on the Instagram algorithm, like, that kind of catches my ear, but it has that older feel to it. So that's why I kind of gravitate towards it. But even like the rock music I listen to is probably like, I don't know, 2005 to 2010, like metalcore, or I don't know, like late 90s to mid 90s hip hop. Like, that's pretty much my wheelhouse. And now I don't listen to anything, dude. I listen to probably less than 5 hours total of music a week.
Yeah, same. I mean, I have a podcast on Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesday every day.
Mm-hmm.
I have a different podcast I pretty much listen to. When I'm listening to music, it's basically in the gym, whatever I've put on my playlist. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I have some guys like, dang, you're talking with the old school stuff. And I'm like, fuck, dude, I don't know, man. This is the stuff I listen to. Isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't put it on and think old school, but I guess the older I get, the more it is that way.
What's wild is I remember when I was a kid, hearing like classic rock radio. And I'm like, who listens to this stuff? And I'm like, I didn't understand that like music is generational, and you kind of listen to, in your 40s and 50s, you listen to what you did in your 20s. Like, most people aren't seeking out new music. I think there's just like a cultural shift, and I'm speaking the obvious here, but I think that people just they're at some point there's a disconnect, and you just stop listening to new stuff. And there's some stuff that I listen to in the hip hop realm that is definitely newer that maybe my kids listen to, that I get. There's a lot of stuff that I listen to. I'm like, how does anybody listen to this? This is dog shit, especially when it comes to the hip hop realm. Like, there's a lot of I come from an era of like lyricism and like MCs and like it being like an art, and people like, battling and like taking it very seriously. And if you try to make up words or said some whack shit, like, you get laughed off a stage, kind of a thing. And now it's just like rap is so fucking terrible. And
no, I mean, Ems came out and said, Moby, you're too old. Nobody listens to techno.
Right.
Fast forward 5-10 years, everybody listens to techno.
Yeah, I remember that explosion. Yeah. That became the pop music.
Yeah, and boy band shit's coming back.
Yep.
And then I lived by a high school, and everybody's wearing these baggy ass clothes, dude.
Yes.
Like the biggest baggy clothes I've ever seen. I was like, we're like a couple weeks away from corduroy pants, freaking Etnies shoes, chain wallets, dude.
Vans already makes a puffy tongue shoe like there was in the 2000s. That's coming full cycle too, Matt.
damn.
Yeah. It's wild too. Cause one of my favorite bands is Deftones. And that was a band that I got into like my late high school years and like early college years. And they're like full site. They're like more popular now than they've ever been. And I'm like, what the fuck? So like I know, like my buddy was over here earlier today. His like 15-year-old daughter, her favorite band is Deftones. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. The demographic for the band has definitely changed, but it's, you know, it's that is music from my high school generation. And now they're every bit as popular.
I seen Deftones in 2002. I saw them play live.
Yeah. It's brought to you by rollpay.co.
It's not role play, because that's something different. It's role pay. And if you're using role pay, you're going to save your gym $700 to $1,000 a month in credit card transaction fees.
RollPay offers credit card transaction processing and gym management software to help your gym save money.
On the other hand, RollPay also helps underprivileged jiu-jitsu students achieve their goals, because 10% of every transaction goes straight to a kid who needs help in the jiu-jitsu industry. Over 250 gyms have already signed up, and they're saving right now.
Check out rollpay.co/OS and save today.
So on the topic of high school, there's a Joel Tudor is a black belt at a surf fight, I believe, here in SoCal. He was on a podcast and he said something that really resonated with me. He said he thinks that more kids would do high school wrestling if they dropped the singlet.
I agree. I completely agree.
And they allowed just like fight shorts and rash guards.
Right.
He said you would have way more people doing it. It's way cooler. The sport would just take off just off that one simple change. More people would wrestle.
I completely agree.
I was like, dude, that is 100% agree also. Like, I was like, why is this not a thing?
You know, it's weird too, because, you know, you look at wrestlers like when they're in the college years and whatnot, and they've all put on their like freshman 20, and they've got, you know, probably 10 to 15 years of wrestling background. So their bodies have adjusted to the art, and, you know, they actually have a build. But I remember the first season that I wrestled at, I think it was 14 or maybe 13, dude, I was a fucking string bean. And
you look like shit. You little fucking
seriously. So like in wrestling class, it was t-shirt and or hoodie and sweatpants and the wrestling shoes. You know, like that's what you trained in. And when it came to competition time, like I'm used to being in, a fucking sweatpants and a fucking sweatshirt or a t-shirt, and in the wrestling room. And then all of a sudden, I step out on the mat and I felt like I was in underwear with a fucking, you know, spandex top, and it was so awkward, dude. Your fucking balls are all showing, and
then every girl that you fucking like is there.
Yeah,
like a big old spotlight on you. I'm like, dude, the only reason people should not want to wrestle is because it's hard, not because they see what you look like when you are hard. You know what I'm saying? Like that's. When he said that, it just resonated with me so much. It's like, dude, that is so true.
I agree.
I was like, in all other collegiate sports, the gear has, even when it's basketball, shorts were baggy in the 90s and early 2000s. Now they're all short, Johnny Stockton style again. Right. Swimmers, they used to only wear Speedos. Now they wear these full on bodysuits, right, where they have their like almost like a giant rash guard. I'm like, why hasn't the singlet evolved?
Yeah, I completely agree. I think every once in a while I'll see like when I had Flow, you'll see competitions like younger, you know, high school years or whatnot, and you'll see like it'll be out of the high school season, the freestyle season, and you'll see kids in like a rash guard and fight shorts. That has become more common in the freestyle scene, but I think in the collegiate and in the high school scene, like they need to adopt that as well. I think it would just, the sport would take off. I completely agree with you there.
When he said it, I was just like, I don't know why I've never thought of that. Like, it's like almost like when someone does something like creatively and you're like, damn it, why didn't I think of that? Like right. When he said that, I was like, damn, that would fix the whole problem.
I agree.
You would have tons of kids wanting to wrestle because of UFC and because of the way grappling's going. So many kids would want to do that.
Yeah, no, and I think that's neat too. That I like when I see kids like when they talk about like being a multi-sport athlete. not everything translates. You know what I mean? So it's like it can hinder performance if you're playing basketball one season but you're playing football the next. Not even like injury wise, but just like the skills that you're doing don't necessarily apply depending on the football position that you play. If you're a defensive lineman, like none of that's going to translate to basketball.
No.
So, but if you were a high school wrestler and then in the off season you're doing jiu-jitsu, those complement each other. You know what I mean? Like you're still,
tremendously.
Yeah. Your wrestling is only going to make your jiu-jitsu better, and your jiu-jitsu, just staying proficient on the ground and being comfortable, is only going to make you a better wrestler. So it's like,
and your rolling cardio and your core strength and everything.
Yeah. You're just the controlling of someone's body. You know what I mean? Like all of that translates. So there is no rusty period, because in the off season you're still doing the same thing, just a different variation of it. So, but
I also want to shout out, let me get his name right, Yano the Beast, for winning the grappler appreciation post I did a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
Just spotlighting a young grappler, or somebody, doesn't have to be young, but somebody in jiu-jitsu who deserves more followers, that is putting out good content, or who is really good in the map but doesn't have a lot. So Yano, was it Yano the Beast? Let me get you guys right. So at Yano, Yano the Beast. Follow him.
I started following him after you had posted him, and he's got a lot of content. He's constantly in my feed now, so.
Yeah, he deserves it. He deserves it. And a lot of people tagged him too, so it shows that he already has like pretty loyal following. So let's just send this kid to the fucking moon and fucking get him up to 100K, and we'll see you at the top, my man. So congrats.
Guys, here's why your hormones suck. If you're listening to this, then chances are you may be one of countless guys who are struggling to see the results they want in the gym, in the mirror, or even in the bedroom. Most guys are focused on testosterone. However, that's only 50% of the answer. Without adequate growth hormone and its end result, growth factors, you can't optimally absorb the testosterone you have, no matter if it's synthetic or natural. That's where BioPro Plus comes in. BioPro Plus fills in what you're missing out on to help maximize your performance in the gym and even how you look in the mirror, without any needles, side effects, or doctor visits, all at a fraction of the cost of synthetic treatments. Over the last few years, BioPro Plus has been taking the medical community by storm as a faster, easier to use, and 100% safe alternative to prescription HGH and peptide treatments. It's become an underground favorite for professional and combat sports athletes, and has been featured in Men's Journal, Muscle and Fitness, and even venture capitalist magazines. Simply put, BioPro Plus is getting real guys, real results, really fast. Check them out and enjoy your new look on life.
We got questions?
This is from Storm Heart Grow. How much rest should a Masters 3 guy get prior to their first comp? I usually do 6 days a week. How much rest?
Master 3. So that means you're like our age, a little older. I would say everybody's different. You got to listen to your body.
Right.
One thing I don't do though, is I don't roll, which I've said before, I don't roll. If I'm competing on Saturday, I'm cutting it off by Wednesday.
Right.
I just you're not going to learn anything Thursday and Friday. That's really going to take you to the next level by Saturday. You're just going to get yourself hurt on accident, pop a rib or something. So if you want to come to class, maybe work technique, maybe warm up, drill a little bit, fine. But my sparring stops the week before, Tuesday or Wednesday before my tournament.
If you got a homie that's similar size to you, and I'm sure most professors are going to be cool with this when it comes time to live rolls, maybe you guys go in a back corner and you just drill. It's like something that's already a part of your game. You know what I mean? Just to stay sharp and proficient on, whether it be back takes or, guard passing or something like that. Just work on that so that when it comes time to competition, that's just, muscle memory at that point.
Right. And that goes with anything. That goes with weightlifting too. If I'm lifting, I'm not lifting
anything that's going to sacrifice your strength or possibly cause an injury. Taper that back.
Yeah. Because you're not going to lose cardio in 3 days. Mm-hmm. And you're not going to gain much technically. So the only thing you're really going to hurt is yourself. Right. So let's go. I want to go in there. I want to feel the best I can. Cardio is fine.
Jason Alvarado says, do you do anything to prevent cauliflower ear? Be big?
Yeah, I really don't have it problem because I do smashing. So it's like, a lot of big guys don't have cauliflower. There's a lot of little guys who get it a lot, who are on bottom a lot.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I think a lot of it.
I won't want to prevent it. I would. I mean, if it came to me, I would just welcome it.
I think that you see it more in larger wrestlers because of the way that they lock up their heads. So they're like smashing their heads and their ears together. You know what I mean? Like when they tie up. We don't really have that in jiu-jitsu because you have collar grips and sleeve grips and things like that. You're not really doing collar ties in gi jiu-jitsu, which is the majority of what Matt and I do. You do collar tie in no-gi, but even then, like the wrestler's stance is real low, squatty, leaned out in front. You know what I mean? So like you're grabbing on to whatever
snaps and stuff. Yeah, it's not really.
Yeah, you don't really have that in jiu-jitsu. It's more like vertical. You know what I mean? You're more standing up, or you're.
Some guys will come up with those interlocked fingers, hand to hand. Mm-hmm. They don't even like
and head to head
because they're working more foot sweep, judo stuff. You know?
Yeah. So
I would just don't be the guy who like puts his ear on a table and then lets his buddy just hit it with a mallet. Like, don't be that guy though.
Did you remember when Steve-O put his ear in between two weight plates and he's having John Jones punch the plates?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
God.
Because he won a cauliflower ear. Yeah, I don't have any. I've gotten like little bits of like where I'll roll and maybe like the next couple of days I could definitely feel like my ear's sore, but I've never had it fill with blood or anything like that. So I have none. But there's a guy that started
the smallest.
Really?
It's on this side. Yeah, like the smallest little bit. Like it's like this burnt. Like it's a little bump.
Yeah, I see that. There's a guy that I train with that started roughly around the same time as me. Cody, blue belt, got his blue belt the same day as me. Both of his ears, he's got a fuck ton of cauliflower ear. It's just like
if you're getting ears where you're like, I can't put headphones in these motherfuckers anymore.
Right.
And it's like compromising your life. Like I can't hear as good. You might want to take care of those things.
Yeah.
I'm not for headgear. We've known this. I just think it's whack. But if you're like, hey man, I'm going deaf over here. Hey, bro, I get it.
Right.
I'm not going to hold that on you, you know?
Good for the soul, BJJ. If you could change, add, or take away anything from the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournament, what would it be?
Your original comment was hilarious, but we can't say that here. I would say if I could add something, which would be almost impossible to do because they're always running behind anyways. I would add like big hotels. Big hotels have, hey, it's 2:00. Everybody out of the pool. We're treating it. I would like jiu-jitsu things say, hey, from 2 to 3, mats get wiped.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I mean, they're wiping these these big tournaments, hours of guys just rolling on these mats. And then you get a freaking 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock call tag.
Right.
And you're like, damn, dude, I'm just like rolling on everybody's sweat. So I think that'd be kind of cool to add that.
7 hours of hundreds of people before you. Yeah.
More, because every different organization has different rules. So like a more like uniform rules set, well, like universal.
Yeah. MMA has the overall unified rule set. And then each state's athletic commission has like modified versions of that.
It's like, oh no, it's EBI rules. I'm like, what's that mean? No, we can slam here. We can't slam here.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you can reap here. You can't reap here. I would kind of like a more universal rule set would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would like, some of these, you know, these bigger companies, I'm not talking about the little tournaments, the bigger ones, they're making a lot of money. Maybe more refs. If you're not going to pay the refs more refs, because these refs by the end of the tournaments are just gassed and they're just like, no, they're not as enthused. They're just like,
right. Are they even paying attention at that point?
They're like, boom.
Yeah.
I'm just like, hey man, I give $125 for this, man. You better be paying attention. Don't be flirting with the freaking girl flipping the freaking numbers over at the score table.
Oh, dude, I've so seen that.
Yeah.
I would say if anything,
one thing I would not change is the girls handing the medals. They're always certified dimes. Just putting that medal on your on your neck. I'm like, where did they get this Brazilian beauty from? Just boop. Jiu-jitsu's doing that right. They have got that chef's kiss. That shit's locked in. I'm like, this girl, she's been here this whole time. Who is this? Who is this? 15 standing right here. That's Bushesha's. Oh shit, my bad.
Yeah.
She's. I promise you, she's taken. But still.
By the way, he said she
smile.
is a 15, not she is 15.
Yeah, she is a 15.
15 out of 10.
15. Yeah, let's clarify that. Okay, right now, don't need to be canceled. She is a 15 out of a 10.
Yeah.
Oh, good call. Good catch, Kenny.
Yeah,
Good
I would say
wingman. That's a wingman right there.
I would say the Brazilian. You're going to be wild if you disagree with this, and this is to anybody that's listening or watching. There's clearly a Brazilian favoritism with the IBJJF referees. Most of those referees, not all of them, but most of the referees are Brazilian from Brazil, and there's a bias. We've seen it happen time and time again in tournaments. If there's a way to mitigate that, well, fuck. It came out that there was a group text of refs.
You let so-and-so win. How you betting on him?
Yeah.
Refs
betting on matches.
Shady ass refs. And that's in any sport.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say that there. There's been shady refs in the NBA.
Oh, yeah.
You know, if you ever watch a Kansas City Chiefs game, they're getting all the calls. Okay. So it's kind of like, but that happens. But I mean, yeah, it was kind of exposed that refs were like picking fights and like this guy, we picked the win. He's in this bracket. We got to make sure this guy has a tough round. How do you, even some of the things that were translated in Portuguese, like how do you detour a 0-0 call? Oh, you just go 0-0. Don't give him points for that. Give this guy the win.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. They'd be betting on blue belts.
And then we got Rubens 69. Do you think stripes are necessary after white belt? My club stopped after white belt. I've heard that before, where white's the only ones they award stripes to. Even there's a 10th Planet guy. We talked about stripes in last week's episode, and we made a clip out of it. And somebody said that they go to a 10th Planet school, I think in Whittier, and they only award stripes for white belts because they need that little bump of motivation. But after blue, they don't award stripes. Which is ironic because why are you wearing? There's no belt in 10.
It just shows how important tape is to guys, dude.
Yeah.
Because these questions come. That's probably the most asked question we get is on stripes.
Right.
And like I said last week, they don't matter really until you get to black belt. Then they matter because that means where you are degree wise. Right. But there's no degrees in other belts. But it's just a preference thing. If a professor wants to stripe you, stripes. If I was to open my own school, I would stripe, even if it was no gi. I would kind of do something. You got to keep the guys enthused, excited, right. Show them that you see their progress. Striping somebody could also mean for the professor, when you stripe somebody, you're like, wow, I'm in this giant class every week and he gave me a stripe. That means he is watching me. He is seeing me. Right. Because sometimes as a professor, it's hard to freaking go and see everybody if they're doing the move right or make that connection with somebody. So by striping them, it lets them know like, hey, he did notice me. Well, that's cool. I'll go back.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes total sense. Yeah, this is a good one, actually. So it said, I offer you 10 grand to fight 20-year-old Helio Gracie. The money drops by $100 for each additional year he ages. What age do you choose to fight him at?
Oh, Helio Gracie. Let's. And do I know what I know now?
Yes. Yes.
I'm fighting him.
So
at 20.
At 20. that was my response too. I was like, somebody said I would say at 20 he's quite skinny. Founder doesn't necessarily mean he's the best to do it. I bet
Knowing what I know now.
I bet you he has a crash out if you pull guard on him. And if my coach can be Sakuraba, then I can defeat all the Gracie's trust. The Gracie Hunter would
Knowing what I know now, as a black belt, I would fight him. He's 20. I'm 20. I'm assuming, right? Are we the same age or am I 40?
Let's say you're 40 and he's 20. You're who
I'm
you
still
are
probably
now,
trying-
and you get 20-year-old Helio.
And he's about what, 160 pounds
Yeah,
or less?
or less.
Maybe less, maybe 140.
Yeah.
I'm fighting him. I'm fighting him because I think the game has evolved a little more.
Jiu-jitsu is so different now than what it was from Helio at 20 years old.
He might he would murk, let's call it, he would murk me if I didn't know shit.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Well, that's what.
But knowing what I know and him being 20 years old, granted, he will not break. So you're saying like he'll break him eventually because he's small. He won't though. He can roll probably for probably 24 hours. I heard there's some story of him rolling like 18, 19 hours straight.
That's insane.
Like he's not going to break. He would do these fights to like no time.
Yeah.
So I've heard stories of him doing that. So, but if you're allowing strikes and hands, I feel like my size could be big enough where I could land some shots maybe because I'm just way bigger than him.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But if we were the same size, I'm not. All we respect Helio Gracie. We wouldn't be talking here if he didn't do what he did. So like, you know what I mean? Like, so, hey, but yeah, no, I'll always bet on myself.
There you go. That's a smart answer. Somebody said, "No, I'll just hit him with a flying armbar."
Now, Hickson Gracie?
Yeah.
We might have to. I've heard stories and like, I'm like, no one beats Hickson. He makes black belts look like white belts. And I'm like, which I've seen guys like this in the gym. I would be definitely a little nervous. I'd be like, oh, when am I going to fight? Maybe now. Now would be a good time to fight Hickson Gracie because he's going through some medical stuff right now.
You need him. He's got to
me
some sort of debilitating medical.
I'll take the $7 and Hickson Gracie now. Did you just fight Hickson Gracie for a cheeseburger and the bum said no? Yeah.
Yeah, at this point, you would have to pay to fight Helio or to pay to fight Hickson.
Yeah. No, I gave him money. So PGF, it seemed that the qualifiers are over.
Yeah, the Vegas was the last one.
And Dorian.
Yeah.
That's our boy, dude. Congrats. Dorian competes every day. If there's a competition, this guy is there.
Oh, yeah. He's also role play family.
Right. He came into the gym about 3 years ago. Poncho through a Warrior jiu-jitsu tournament.
So he was a brown belt.
He just marks everybody. Yeah. This guy is just fucking phenomenal. And like we got some rounds in. And I was like, who is this guy? And I don't know if he was a brown or a purple at the time. He might have been a purple at the time. And then Clint was like, that motherfucker. He's like, that's a different purple belt. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because there's levels, there's competition guys, and then he's that guy. He's like top tier level. So PGF got themselves an exciting fight. So give at Dorian a follow.
Yeah, that's going to be
watch him because he'll be in Vegas with us. We're definitely going to sit down and talk with him for sure.
100%. So there's some checkmat representation at PGF this year.
Yeah. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. I'm going to keep that guy in the nuts again too. This time I'm there for a week, Kenny.
Yeah, we're finding him.
We're there for a week. I am not leaving without fucking testicle juice on my shin. I don't care how high you suck them up into your belly, dude. I'm finding that.
Matt's prepping. He's taking a broomstick and just rubbing it down his shin just to numb his shins up before Vegas. Just killing all the nerves.
And I'm bringing money to buy shoes because I saw those Jordans there. I'm bringing shoe money.
Oh,
Kenny,
we're hitting Shoe Palace.
First 5 minutes into Vegas, Kenny buys a pair of J's. I'm like, what is happening right now? I was like, I haven't even took a shit yet. Kenny's like, yeah, that's why I shit in the fucking bathrooms on the way here and the trippy gas station. So I'm like, all right. He's like, let's park here. All right, we walk in. Hey, Jordans. I'm like, oh, this is how it's going to be. Okay. I'll be ready next time. A week? How many pair of Jordans are you going to buy in 1 week, Kenny? All those shoe stores.
Zero. That's what I'm saying.
Zero.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, no, this is going to be a cool trip, and it's neat to see some of the names that are popping out. So Kyle Boehm, another California native, 10th Planet, Oceanside black belt. We got Dory, checkmat black belt. We got a new coach this year, so we got Hodger Gracie's coming back. Carlos Machado is stepping up this year.
Pedro Sauer.
Am I crazy to say Carlos Machado looks like a slightly skinnier Tom Segura? Tell me I'm wrong. They look so much alike.
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit.
And then Dean Lister's back.
So what was he a 10th Planet Oceanside? Boom. Was he the professor there?
No.
Or was he just a student there?
Because
whoever the professor is there, we might be Eskimo brothers, brother.
The 10th
Back in the day, I was dating a girl, and she worked at Hooters in Oceanside, and then she ended up dating some guy from 10th Planet Oceanside. So, yeah.
There's a lot of dudes at 10th Planet Oceanside, so that could be a lot of people.
He was the professor, though. He was the coach. He was the teacher. He ran it.
Geo? It's Geo School.
Hey! Hey, man. How's it taste, Geo? Huh? I was like...
Geo, my man, has bad knees. Don't shoot any M&Rs on him, please.
Geo, I don't want no smoke, dude. I don't want no smoke. But she said, yeah, I'm dating a guy who runs a school at 10th Planet, and she was in Oceanside. So I'm just assuming that's the one. And she worked at the Hooters off the 5 freeway. Good times. That would have been a podcast in the 20s. That would have been a good one. That would have been a good one.
Break the news as it happened.
I used to be on Facebook, and I would just you could check into places.
Yeah.
I have a post that said Matt Vega checked into some random girl's V. I put that on there, dude. Checked into some random girl's vagina. My mom was not happy with that one.
You got to talk.
Not happy with that post.
You just got to let me live, Mom.
It's like, I'm just out here, dude. I'm out here creating havoc at the Purple Church. RIP Purple Church, Oceanside. They shut it down.
Did they? I've never been. I've heard many a story, but I've never been.
Fun strip club right next to Denny's. RIP.
What a parking lot that was. Titties and a Denny's. Let me get a grand sandwich.
They're shutting the Denny's are getting shut down now. I
need a moons over my hammy and a lap dance.
Moons over my give me a handy. Yeah, it was good times, man. That was a fun little era of Matt right there. Taking girls to the pier. It was good times, dude.
Matt had a system down. This is also where Matt's got a fight coming up, so I'm going to just have a salad.
Cut and wait. I can't. Sorry. Walk to the pier instead.
Yeah, can I get a salad on a water?
This is me and my Mazda 3.
Speed.
Mazda 3 speed. Downshifting.
High RPMs just because it's louder.
Getting Nessie's burger on the way. Good times. Living in Hemet, so it was a long ass drive.
Dude, yeah. Oh, yeah. No wonder you couldn't afford dates because you fucking had to drive 40 minutes.
Hey, man, these girls had kids, man. They can't leave. These girls, some of these. Hey, fun fact about Hooters waitress. All of them mostly have kids and C-section lines. I mean, that's just the science of it. So you got to go to them. They're not going to come to you. They come to you, next thing you know, you have a playpen in your house, and then that's a whole nother fucking problem.
That's a different story right there. a pack and play in your closet.
Oh, dude.
I think that's it, brother.
You thinking what I'm thinking? Aim for the bushes. My name is Matt. This is Kenny. Follow me at House Nation BJJ. Follow Kenny at Freak Party BJJ. Follow us on the Discord. We'll put in clips on there no one knows about. Or I am anyways. Follow us on follow me on TikTok. I'm sorry, I'm posting on there. TikTok, find me. What the fuck, algorithm? Follow us on YouTube. We are probably 60 away. But November 6th.
65.
November 16th is coming close though, guys.
Yeah.
So the deadline is there. So, follow us on all our socials. We appreciate everything, you guys. And we've got some big guests coming up. We got Brandon McCaffrey coming up on the probably mid-October-ish. You'll have the Brandon McCaffrey episode. And we got the Halloween episode coming up where Kenny and I are going to dress up. We're going to try to. So give us ideas in the comments of what you, jiu-jitsu-wise, what you want us to dress up as.
Yeah, what's the theme?
And then you'll only be able to see that on YouTube. So you need to go to the YouTube and subscribe right now because that's where you'll be able to see that. Again, thanks everybody. We'll catch you around. Have a good day. Have a good week. Os.